Okay, so I have started it.
Thanks.
Sure. Okay, so unpackage.com. Uh, that was okay. So unpackage.com is the CDN that we are using to get that particular style sheet for our website. So if we remove this, there will be some default styles that will apply to this web page. So you can, remove it and experiment around, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, so today we are going to create the layouts and stuff for all the sections and whole of our website. So we are going to use Flexbox a lot. So let's just first make sure that you guys understand what Flexbox is. So it's just an algorithm. So, okay, let's not go there. So it just renders elements in one direction. So maybe a row or a column. So right here you can see it's a row. Let's see. So that is defined by, let me just make sure. Okay, so we can change it using the flex direction property. So right by default it's row. So you don't have to specify that. Yeah. So if I make it column, you can see that it's going in a column. Let's make it row again. And let's focus on these two properties first. So we have justify content. Okay, let me just reduce the child count. So you can see that this is the parent container colored. Well, the border is colored gray. I hope it's visible. Okay. So let's see. By default, for justify content, we have flex start. So justify content means alignment along the main axis. So for a row, the main axis is the x-axis. So justify content will determine the alignment of the items inside this container. Okay, so by default it's flex start. So all the items are on, aligned to the starting of the container. We have flex end. Then we have center, space around, and space between. So space between is all the space in the container, the white space will be distributed equally between the elements. And space around means each element will have equal amount of space on their either sides. So one has, for example, from here to here, and this one. So let's say this is 5 units and this is 5 units. So all of them have 5 units on left and right side. So that is why this will be 10 units, but this will be 5 units. Okay, so that's justify content. Let's say we want space between. Now let's look at align items. So that property will determine the alignment of these items along the cross axis. So we have the main axis and this is the cross axis. So in our case, in the row case, the cross axis is the y axis. So let's see, by default we have stretch. That means that the item will stretch across the height of the container. But if you make it center, you can see that it will only occupy this much space. Then flex start, so it will be on the top, and flex end it will be aligned at the bottom. Baseline isn't really important for now, so I'm just going to skip it, but you can see what happens. It will basically align the items such that the baseline of the text, I can't draw here, but you can imagine a line right here. So the baseline will be aligned. Okay, so by default it's stretch. Let me make it center and center. So earlier in the last workshop, in the last session, I mentioned that we will learn how to center elements. So using just 3 lines of CSS. Okay, so there is this container, it's the parent container. You have to declare its display property as flex, and then its justify content property is center, and align items property as center. So you can ignore the row, the flex wrap, and the only properties that matter is these two and the first one right here. So if you have those three lines, you can center anything you want. So yeah, that's the simplest way to center elements on your web page. Okay, I hope it's clear. If it's not, uh, go ahead and ask me the questions, because I'm going to move on to making the website now. Okay, quick. Anyone? All right, so you can, fiddle around with this. I put the links inside the references file, and yeah, so if you want to experiment, go ahead and go to the site. Okay, let me just open it in a separate page. So first, I'm going to discuss with you guys how we can use different fonts in our website. So let's say you want a custom font for your website. So the easiest way to do that would be using something called Google Fonts. Okay, just going to open this. Okay, so this is how our end product will look like. This is the whole web page, and here you can see that these are not the browser default fonts. So let's go to fonts.google.com, and so if you want to see which fonts used here, so what you can do is click this icon. It's the selector. It enables the selector, and then just hover. Okay, so if you hover on the element, you'll be able to see in the tooltip the font. So it's specified 72 pixels. It's a weird name, but it's a sans font. So I looked it around, but it's not there on the Google Fonts. So we are just going to use the closest one, similar looking I found. Okay, so we have DM Sans. Okay, what's this? All right. So once you open this page, you need to select which styles you want. So we have the regular one, and then you can also select the italics one. Let's say I also want the italic style. Then I'll choose the bold one and the bold italics. Okay. So now just click here to view what is selected until now. So all these styles are selected, and then just copy whatever it's there inside this box. So once you copy it, open your code sandbox and paste it before the styles that we have attached, because I'll tell you the reason. I'll tell you the reason. Okay, just a sec. Okay, so you have attached the styles, the style sheet. So you can see there is a style sheet and there is some other links. No need to worry about. Just attach this, and then it's very small. Okay, so you can see CSS rules to specify families. So just copy this and use it inside your CSS file. Okay, so let's open the file, and yeah, so let's switch the font family. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see the difference, but I can. So just a sec. Maybe if I make it bigger, it will be more prominent. So yeah, you might be able to see the difference now. So this is the custom font that we want to use. So that's how you can include custom fonts using Google Fonts. Okay, so you can search for any font and just select them, and then copy this, whatever is inside this box, and specify the font family property. Okay, so we specified that all the text elements inside this body will have the same font. Okay, so that's how you use Google Fonts on your website. So if we, okay, that's fine. Okay, so just make sure you put our custom styles below this. Okay. So let's look at the navigation bar. We right now have it as a flex container, and you guys might remember that these are lists, right? So we don't really need to use lists now because well, we are able to style them properly, but let's just keep it as it is. No need to change it now. Okay, so what were we going to do? Yeah, we were going to center these icons because they are not centered. Yeah, and it does not look good. So let's go into CSS, and if I remember correctly, this was navigation link. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, so navigation link. I'm going to specify its display property as flex. That's the first line. Justify center and align items center. Hey, let's see. Okay, it seems like they are not yet centered, and it's weird. Okay, I think I know the reason why they are not centered. Let's have a look what's going on. Okay. All right, so you guys can see this link is what is creating this extra space below the icon. Okay, let's see if we can make this go away. So we want to target that anchor tag inside the navigation link. So let's make it display. Does anything? Yeah, then. Okay, so a lot of times you'll just be experimenting around with CSS. Okay, just like I'm right now. Okay, so why is this? It has a margin, I think. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have a margin. Okay, then why is it pushed down a bit? Okay, let's try something. Doesn't work. Okay, even that doesn't work. Oops, what's this? I said it. Okay, so that's not doing anything. Okay, I'm going to try something else. So you know what? We can leave it as it is right now. Let's just make one change. So you might be able to see that this is not a perfect circle. So what you can do to make it a perfect circle is change the border radius to 50%. Okay, that doesn't work well right now. Make it 1000 pixels. Okay. Okay, so sometimes there is a chance that when you are using SVG icons, they might behave in a weird way. So it depends on the icons you're using. Right now, seems that I'm having trouble with feather icons. Okay, so we'll get to it later. if we have time at the end, because we need to build it out. Yeah.
What's the container which contains that icon? Like, is it the link back in the HTML?
So the icon is contained by navigation link.
Navigation link. Maybe like the container is the A tag, probably. So if we can apply the border radius 50% to the A tag, maybe it might become a circle. Because the A tag contains the icon.
Okay. Let's see. I don't think it's going to work because the border is actually on the li tag. Let's just, try it. See if it's working. So yeah, it won't work.
You have like asymmetric padding. Top and bottom are 16px and left and right are 24px.
Okay.
That
But
is interfering with the circle.
Yeah,
okay, that does make sense. All right. So what we can do here is create another class and give it different padding, right? Thank you for pointing it out, Akshit. Okay. Let's say icon, and let's give all of them the same class. So what I'm going to do here is keep the navigation link class, but I'm going to add another class. So that's how you can apply styles from two different classes for the same element. So you use two different classes, and what we will do is so navigation link icon, and we will specify padding 16 pixels, and similarly padding left will be 16 pixels. Okay, so it seems like that is working. Okay, let me just try something else. Padding none at all. So it's still giving me trouble. Okay, so it's possible that the icons, they are not, square shaped. Like the container that has the icon, they might not be square shaped, and that is why we are getting this kind of a circle. Okay, so maybe if I increase the padding a bit, it might do the trick. Okay, maybe a little bit less. Okay, so that does seem like a proper circle. So I'm going to leave it at that. And this, it still works. So yeah, let's go ahead now. So I think we should decrease the size of this avatar. So I'm going to give this a class, navigation avatar image. Okay. So let's go in the styles file. Okay. And let's give it a height of I think 75 pixels might be proper. Let's have a look. Okay, that does look good. I'm just going to make it 80. Okay, so that looks proper. Now let's go into the header section. Okay, so we have this container, and it has a background color. So the body by default has a white background color, but this header seems to have a light grayish background color. And okay, so how we give an element a background is using the background property. Okay, so let's give the header a class first. Class header is fine. Because it's the hero. Hero is fine, right? I think so. Yeah. So background color, and I'm not sure which color is it. It is okay. I'm just going to use a okay. Okay, so I have a color dropper tool thing. Okay, what the hell happened? Oops. That was weird. I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay. Okay, let's just give it a random gray color. Okay. I'm going to say 50. That might work. I'm not sure. Okay, that's too dark. Okay, maybe 200 will work. Okay, let's try. Still doesn't do. Definitely do it. Yeah, okay, this looks pretty good. Okay, so you guys can see that we have two major components here. The first one is this, and then there is this image. So we can use flex here, as you can imagine two items in a row. So let's give it a display of flex, and so we don't need to specify the flex direction for this. Okay, so now you can see that everything is in a row. So in order to have all these elements together, we will have to wrap them inside a div. So I'm just going to select all of this and wrap it inside a div. So this is a use case for div. All right, and for this we're going to yeah, we're going to create another div, place the image inside of it, and we'll remove this image. So that was the background image that we want. Okay, what's happening? I think I removed the wrong image. Yes, I did. Okay, so yeah, there is bird now. Okay, so there is a particular ratio so to the width for these items. So if we want to apply that ratio here, what we can do is we can use a property known as flex, or there is another way we can go ahead with this is we can give a particular width to birth depending on the size of the window. So as the window size changes, the width of the of this image will change. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a class of hero image. Okay, and let's put the styles down. Width. Now, if you want to give an element of width depending on the viewport width, so we will use the units VW. Okay, let's say we want it to be 20% of the viewport width. So I'm going to make it 20 VW. Okay, I need to save this, right? Let's see. Okay, so you can see that size of the image is changing according to the width. I'm just going to increase it a bit more. Let's say 40. Let's see how that works out. Okay, yeah, that seems more like it. And then you can see that, as the window gets bigger and bigger, the size of the image is increasing proportionately. So maybe you want the size to stop increasing at a particular width. So for that, you can specify a max width property. And let's say you just want it to grow till 800 pixels. So max width 800. So it won't grow any further than 800. Okay, I think might not be visible here. Let me put 300. Okay, so first here you can see that it's increasing, but then it stopped. So that's how max width works. It will provide an upper limit to the width of that particular element. So I'm just going to put 800 here. All right. And we can see that there is some padding from left to right, and not on the right side apparently, because the image is going to the end. Okay, so I'm just going to put padding left of, let's say, 80. Okay, not bad. That does look good. Okay, let's style the H1 now. So you can say hero title, and then we have this paragraph tag right here. So I'm going to give it a class of hero subtitle. And okay, why do we have I am Siddharth here? Maybe it was just for experimentation. Okay, so I think we need all this in our website for now. Okay, so I'm just going to paste it in the chat so that even you can copy. Okay. Okay, so okay, let's have a look. So in the design, you can see that this particular part is on a separate line, right? So if we want to do that, what you can use is a BR tag. So what a BR tag stands for is a line break. So now you can see that our sentence starts on the next line. If it wasn't there, it will start on the same line. So it starts from here. Okay. So the BR will give a new line. Okay, so we've got classes for both the texts. Okay, hero title. I'm going to give it a big font size. 48 pixels. Let's see. Okay, that's pretty good. And I'm going to give it a font weight of 700. Or you can even say that it's bold. But I'm just going to use 700. Okay. Does it look like it's 700? Let's. Okay. Okay, let's see. It is 700 right now. I'm not sure if it is. It doesn't seem to change. Okay, that might be because of the browser defaults. Okay, let's see if making it 400 changes anything. Okay, yeah. So that was the bold font weight. Yeah. All right. And then let's see. We have this purple color which we have done. Okay, so I think that's it. Let's work on the hero subtitle. Okay, so let's give it a bigger font size. It's too small. So by default, a paragraph tag will be 16 pixels in font size. Let's make it 24. Okay, I think that's too big. Maybe 21 will do. And you can see that these characters, they are too close to each other. So that's called letter spacing. So you can change the letter spacing manually, but I don't think it's necessary. Okay. Next. Okay. I'm going to give it a line height. So what a line height is the height of this line of text. So by default, depending on the font, it will have a line height. So if we specify the line height in percentages, that just means that if it's 150%, that just means that it's 150% of 21 pixels. That is the font size. Okay, so I feel that this is too far away. Let's make it 140. Maybe even smaller. Okay, yeah, this looks proper. Okay, time to give the background image to this div. Okay. Hero image container. The class name makes sense. Okay, so it's a good practice to have similar elements together in styles. Okay, so you know where to look for a particular style. All right, because CSS files, they tend to get quite big and it is possible you might get lost. But you can always use Control F to search for a particular style. Okay, so hero image container, we want to give it a background image. Okay, so that's how you can specify an image as the background for any container. So you need to use a function provided by CSS called URL, and inside of that we will pass the link of the photo we want to use. So it will be inside assets, images, purple sprinkles. Okay, let's see what it's going to do. All right, I need to save it. Okay, yeah, so I can see that there is one sprinkle right here, but it's not very visible. So it is possible that the background image is bigger than the container. So you won't be able to see all of it. So to adjust its size, you can use another property called background size. And you can use cover. And for background position, so this cover, it basically means that the background image will cover the whole container. Okay, and background position will specify where the background image should be positioned, and if we specify center, it will be in the center. Okay, so now you can see that the sprinkles are visible. Okay. They don't quite look like this. And so for that, I think if we use bottom as the background position, it might look similar. Oh yeah, it is looking similar. So we have this sprinkle right here and this one here, and then we have a circle. Okay, so it's close. You might not get exactly what the design has, but you should try and get as close as you can. Okay, So that's Bert. Okay, so you can see here that depending on the width, this width of the viewport, the text, it changes its width a lot. So maybe we can give this container, the container of all this, a class, and constraint is its width. So hero information, let's say information, and okay, so we have hero information here. Hmm. Still not good enough. So I just, let's open it in a new page. Okay, nope, doesn't really work. Okay, and it seems like 800 pixels is a lot of width for this image. I'm just going to reduce it. Where is it? Okay, maybe 600 should do. Still very big. 400. And I'm just going to change this one to 400 as well. Okay. Okay, this is better. Okay. So there's a difference in the copy. So building brands ampersand. Okay. Why do we have experience twice? We just need it once. Okay. So okay, that's one correction. All right. I think this is a bit more. Let's say 500 is good enough from what I am seeing here. Well, okay, still not close enough. Building. Okay, I think I copied it wrong. Place it here. Make the font size a bit bigger. I think in the actual design it's 72 pixels. All right, and yeah. Okay, so now you can see that it doesn't change the size after a bit. Okay, and you can see that these two items, which are the children of the flex container, are in the starting itself. So we want it to be at the end. So what we will do is give this flex container a justify content of space between. Okay, so all the space will be there in between of them. Okay, that does it. Let's move on to the next section. So here again, you can see we have the image and then a div containing all the information. So we will use flex again, just like we used in the header, and it's very similar to it. So instead of having the information first, we have the image first and then a bit of information. Okay, so I'm not going to do that here. I'll leave that to you guys so that you can practice for yourself, and it'll be just wasting time, to be honest. Okay, so let's move on to the next section, this one right here. So it's the service section. Let's open it. Okay, so first we have an h3. I'm just going to close this. Okay, and then we have this uppercase h4, I think. Okay, no, that's h3. This is h2. Okay, so h3, Let's give it a class. So these are sections, right? So let's give it a class of section type. Okay, no, wait. That is the subtitle. And H2 is the section title. And then we have section, oh shit, class. Okay, section description, let's say. Description. Let's write out the styles for all of them. So first we have section title, and then we have section subtitle, and then we have section description. Okay. So the title has a bigger font size. 48 might be good for this. Okay. Okay. It seems like it is proper. And then we have subtitle. So even using CSS, you can convert the casing of any kind of text. So in here, you can see we have my expertise capitalized in block letters. So instead, if I write it this way, so for now it will change to the same case. Where is it? Okay, my expertise. So let's go into the CSS file and give it a text transform property, and you can give uppercase to it, and let's see what happens. Okay, so you can see that it is in uppercase now. All right. I think it has a lot of margin. I'm going to reduce the margin top for this. 16 pixels should be good enough. Okay. All right, they are a bit closer. I'm just going to remove all of it. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay, so need to specify 0. Okay, so yeah, that's almost as much space as we want. Okay, next we have the text followed by these 3 items. Okay, so here we have kind of a green background. Okay, so I'm just going to get the color for that background, and let's see, services. Okay, so we discussed earlier that we can use IDs as CSS selectors. So I'm just going to use this service. Okay, and background color will be this. Let's see, did it work? Okay, services, my bad. Okay, so services, and let's also give it a display of flex. Yeah, so we have the color. Okay, let's go ahead and so we'll need to wrap all of this inside a div. Okay, so first we need the h3, the paragraph, and get in contact. So we'll wrap it inside a div. And the last 3 items, they are already in a div. So now they look similar to what we had earlier in the design. Okay, for some reason, these 2 icons are not rendering properly. I wonder why. Let's see, the link is right. Okay, then why it's so I don't know why it's happening. Is it happening in any of your cases? Is it happening with someone else? Let's see. Oh yeah, it's not even working here. Okay, I think the play icon is working and the other icons are not. Let's see if play works here. Okay, why isn't it reloading? Okay, it did. Okay, so yeah, it's working. Quite not sure why that's happening right now. Okay. So that's just some debugging that we will do later if we find time. Okay, so I think the second div here has more space compared to the first div. But so there are two ways. First, we can specify that ratio ourselves, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to specify the width of this item, all these items actually, and that will indirectly give this a bigger width. Okay, so where is it? Okay, right here first. Services. Section subtitle. Okay, I think I'm going to give section subtitle a bigger line height, the 130% line height. And yeah, that seems better. Okay. Let's move on to these individual items. Okay. So you can see that each one of them is a div and they are wrapped in a parent container. So this kind of a layout, it's quite well. There is another system called the grid system that we can use here, but I don't think it's a good idea to introduce you to the grid as well. So instead of having this kind of a layout, I'm just going to stack them on top of each other. So here we will use the flex direction column. Okay, so section services and okay, that doesn't sound like a good name because we have services container. I'm just going to give it service item, let's say, or services item. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. And inside of that, the images, we are going to leave them as they are. And the titles, right? So there are two things we can do. Either we can create a selector for this using class, or we can use one of the operators. Okay, so I think I'm going to use one of the operators because, well, I just feel like using the operators. That's just another use case. So section description. Why is this empty? Okay, I see what happened. So the subtitle was this. I think we need to put it in the description, right? Okay. We have a, I forgot the class name, services container, right? Container. And then we have another class, services. So the container will be flex, but we'll have flex direction column. Okay. So by default, these are stacked one after another, but we want to give it, some spacing. So flex is very useful when you want to adjust the spacing around the flex items, the items inside the flex container. Okay, so that's why I'm using flex, and we are going to use the direction as column here. Okay, so what we can do is we can give both the containers some padding because they are too close to each other. So some padding will help. Let's see. Uh, okay. Okay. So what we can do is we have the services, right? So I'm going to specify this uh, selector services and its uh, child div. So it will target this div and this div. So we want both of them to have some padding. So let's say we want to have padding of 16 pixels. Okay, that's not much. 32 maybe. Okay, that's a bit better. Still not a lot on the sides. Is that 48 maybe? Okay, yeah, that does seem better on the sides, but you can see that the center has a lot of space here. I guess that's fine. It's not a problem really. So services item, we will have a background color. So we can see that the background color is white in the design. So we're going to make it white, and we're going to give it some padding. Here in this case we'll just give it 32 pixels. That is good enough. What happened? It's not scrolling. Okay. So I think that this is a lot of text, and that's why the container is stretching a lot. Okay, so you can just go ahead and remove some text out of this. That will help. Okay, so we want some spacing between these items. So what I'm going to do is service, I want item. Okay, so what we can do here is we can give each item a margin bottom, except for the last one because there is no item after that one. So let's say, so there is a selector which looks like this. So I'm going to give, first I'll give everyone margin bottom of let's say 16 pixels, not a lot. This will be good enough. And then for the last one, I'll give margin bottom of 0. Okay, so yeah, that does it, and it looks pretty good according to me. We can do another thing. We can give this heading a little bit bigger font size. So services item, and I'm going to target it using the this operator. So it's in H3, right? Wait, it's, what is it? I can't seem to find it. Oh yeah, it's wrapped here. Okay. Oh, it's an H3. Okay, so means that the service item div and its direct child H3, and we want to give it a font size maybe 24. Okay, that okay, too big, 24 might be better here. All right, so that looks pretty good. Okay, let's move on to styling this link so it looks terrible right now. The browser defaults. They're mostly terrible. I don't know why. Okay, let's target it. So where is it? Oh, right here. Let's give it a class services link. That's good enough. So we'll copy this. Let me just save the file. And so let's first give it a display of block. And okay, no, we won't give it a display of block. We'll give it a display of inline block. So by default, block will occupy the whole width. Inline will occupy only the width that the content inside requires, and inline block will be a combination of both. Okay, so if you want to find out more about inline block, just Google it. I think we are a little short on time. Okay, so display inline block, and I'm going to give it a background color of that backup purple. Yeah. Oh, first purple. Yep. Okay, and I'm going to give it a color of white. Okay, so more things to do. Text decoration. So using text decoration, you can specify the underline. So we'll give it none, and we will give it some padding. Let's say. So generally in buttons on sides, we have larger padding. If we don't want a square button, right? So generally we'll have larger padding on the sides compared to the top and bottom. So I'm going to specify 16 pixels and 32 pixels. Okay, so right here you can see that I've specified two different paddings. So this one, it will work for the top and bottom, and this one will work for the sides. So this is kind of a shorthand that you can use, so you won't have to write out, padding for each of the sides. So you can just do this. So this will work for top and the sides. So you can Google CSS shorthands for padding, for margin. So there are a lot of shorthands, so they are very helpful. Okay. I'm going to give it a margin top. I think 30. Okay, yeah, that seems like a good margin. Okay, so that's your expertise, Bert's expertise actually. And I see that the time's up, but okay, so do you guys want me to do the footer as well, or do you guys want to do it on your own? Because I also need to show you guys how to publish this website. Okay, let me just post it inside the conversation. So I'm sending a poll. Okay, I'm sending it. Just say yes or no, and I'll know what to do. It would be great if all of you could respond. Okay, come on, guys, hurry up. Okay. All right, so until now we have 10 responses and most 60% of them are no. Okay, so if we don't do the footer, then we'll get to publishing this website. Okay, so right now this website isn't exactly complete, and there are some other pages like the contact page. Okay. Okay, so this is the contact page, and this is similar to the header. We have the background image. It's some sprinkles. You can use the purple sprinkles here. Then it has a flex container, I think, and it has two children. I'm sorry. So it looks pretty similar. So I think every one of you are capable to do this on your own. Okay, and footer might be a bit of challenge, but it's doable. Okay, so let's see how we can publish the website. It's not complete, but well, we don't have a lot of time. Okay, so uh, open this tab inside your code sandbox, the tab with the deployment title and the rocket icon. Okay, has every one of you opened it? Okay, and then you can go ahead and press this button, deploy to Netlify. So once you press that button, uh, a modal will open, and it will show you a bunch of text logs actually. So first it will show queuing dot 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 and then so on, and it will show you that it's complete. So just keep reading the logs and it will show you when it's complete, and then you will be able to see that there is a button. Okay, I think we can go to some other. Hey, this might be good. Okay. So I'm just opening this just for showing it to you guys. Okay, so if I press this deploy to Netlify, it will show you a bunch of logs, and as soon as it is complete, it will print we are done or it's complete, something like that, and then you can just press open Netlify site, and that will open the site for you. Okay, but you will have to wait for it to complete. So if it's not complete and you just press open, it will show you page not found. Okay, so once it's done, you'll be able to see it. Okay, let's go back and let's open our workshop ongoing. Okay, it's taking a while to load. Okay, we have it. So yeah, so once you deploy to Netlify, they'll give you the options to visit the site. Okay, you can also view logs. All right, so your logs will look something like this. They won't take very long, just 5 seconds maybe. Okay, so once you open the site, you'll be able to see that whatever you've done is visible on this URL. So just copy it and share it with anyone you'd like to, look at the website. All right, so I don't think it's ready yet for showing off. So maybe work on it a little and then you can show it off. Okay, so as we mentioned earlier that everyone will have to work on their portfolio and then we'll get submissions, and based on that we'll evaluate. So you can see that it's not complete yet, right? So you guys will have to work on this portfolio and make it as close as you can to the designs. So I'm not going to give you guys the link to my complete website because, well, then you'll be able to copy. So some of you might have an unfair advantage. That's not what we want. So I really recommend you to do it on your own to the best of your abilities. Okay, so there's a question. Is it okay if it's not responsive on different screens? Yeah, it's completely okay if it's not responsive. We just want it to look as close to the design as possible on a desktop screen. Okay. So
Excuse me.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
does our portfolio have to be similar to this, or can we make something of our own and give it? Or it has to be
Okay,
similar to
good
this?
question. So let's say actually, can I get back to you about, well, actually, I'll think about it because it is important to have the creative freedom and flexibility. But I'll think about it and I'll let everyone know in the group how the competition thing is going to work. Okay. I still suggest everyone to finish this portfolio. As you know, this might be the one that we will use in the competition, but it might not be. But I suggest you guys to finish this. So you guys have the designs. So you'll have to complete the index page and also the contact page and the 404 page. Okay. So, and also update this information that's inside of it according to you. So only then you might be able to actually show it to a recruiter or a friend. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Any questions? Oh. Okay, so we have a couple of questions. Price announcement. And yeah, what's the price? Okay, so I don't think it's time to reveal it yet. Maybe a bit later this week. So deadline, I think everyone will have a week to work on their portfolio or whatever they're creating for the competition. I think a week is enough. Okay, so let's say the workshop it ends on this Saturday. Sorry, Friday, right? So then the deadline will be next weekend. So by the end of next Friday, or let's say Saturday. So by the end of next Saturday, we'll require the submissions. Okay, and everything related to this competition, it will be sent on the group. Okay, anything else?
Yeah. So basically, last time I was trying out some HTML tags, and then I checked the one with text area, like a huge text
Hmm.
area where you put your description or
Yeah.
something like that. So when I tried styling it in CSS according to whatever design I had, and I gave it a certain height, then I saw that when I launched the website, I can actually change the height of that text area. Like the user can, if you drag it on that small corner, there's like a white highlight. So like,
Yes,
why does that
yes.
happen? Is there a way to stop that?
So it happens because text area by default has that kind of a nature. It's resizable. And yes, there is a way to stop that. Let me open contact.html. What? Oh, okay, I see there is a typo. Okay, so we have this text area right here. Let's go to the text area in the form. Okay. Resize direction. Okay, I think let's give it a class. Okay, I don't think we need to give it a class. We can just use the text area selector. Style text area. Okay, so resize none. What happens? So now that small icon on the bottom right corner, it went away. So now the user won't be able to resize it according to their will. You can specify the rows you want. Maybe you want 6 rows. So that's what the user will get, and they'll have to use that.
But
So
like,
this,
is there
sorry?
like some sort of like suppose like someone has something really long to write, but then the text area is confined to those what do you say, size, width, and everything. So like, how do is there a scrollable thing that we can add on our own, or is it automatic? Like if you exceed that box somehow.
Yeah, it is scrollable. Okay, let me just show it to you. Lorem. So it will give you the scroll behavior by default.
And can we style that scroll over there?
Yep, you can style scroll bars. Any scroll bar you want to, you can. And it's not that simple, but you can go to this website, CSS Tricks. Okay, so CSS Tricks is a really good website that you can use to understand different stylings. Okay, so scroll bars. Custom scroll bar, okay. Okay, okay. Or you can just Google custom scroll bars CSS. Okay. So yeah, okay, it's the same article. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So you'll have to use this selector. So WebKit scroll bar, because by default there isn't like, so a WebKit selector is, wait, let me just stop the recording.